The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Go, Dallas Cowboys!
I was forgotten that.
That means it must be Friday.
It's a victory Friday, which means that we are kicking butt.
It's a victory for us.
This weekend.
We made it.
We made it to a beautiful day outside, too.
And by the way, since you said that, aren't we glad we don't live in Buffalo?
Ooh, man.
Huh?
Okay, let me look at the weather.
Well,
Here we
look
go.
at it. It says right there, Bills canceled practice due to Buffalo snowstorm.
I'm going on my weather app. Right now, it is 34 degrees. Feels like 24 right now.
In Buffalo.
In Buffalo. And remember I talked about lake effect snow.
Yes.
There you go. Coming from Lake Erie, right? From in Buffalo, lake effect snow warning. Occasional snow likely to continue for the next several hours.
Okay. Do you want to know what I read?
What'd you read?
That from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock, they had 21 and a half inches of snow.
Already?
In between those 6 hours.
Wow.
That is more snow than we've accumulated here in Dallas in 6 years.
I was going to say 10 years.
6 years from 2016 to 2022, we've had 7 inches of snow accumulated in Dallas-Fort Worth. They had 23 times as much in 6 hours.
Hey, they have a video here. Watch wall of snow roll into Buffalo. A wall of snow. I don't even know what that looks like.
And it's still
This doesn't do it
snowing.
any justice.
And it's still coming.
It's like a sandstorm, probably.
Basically.
Right? Crazy.
Unbelievable.
And they love it.
Good thing they moved the game.
No, they don't want to move the game.
Well, they did.
love it.
No, they moved the game.
They love it.
It's going to Detroit.
The fans want to go there. And
no, they can't get there.
They moved the game, yeah.
Well, what was that? The Lions left a note for them, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they left a note saying, "Please don't break the tables," because that's what Buffalo fans do. They do the wrestling move, jumping up onto tables with turkey on it, and they'll break the tables out in the parking lot. You hadn't seen that?
It's not thanks.
I saw
yes,
the Lions.
I know
What do they call that? What they call them, Chris? They're like the crazies.
They're the Bills Mafia, first
the Bills
of all.
Mafia. They break tables before
Yes,
every
and they
game.
break tables.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I
They
thought
do the
So
wrestling
the
move.
Detroit Lions sent out a text after the Bills said we're moving to Detroit, and Detroit Lions sent a tweet out that says the emergency contact numbers are next to the phone. Leave it how it came, and please don't break the tables.
That sounds like a nice,
It was a funny,
like a bed and breakfast. It's like a
yes.
bed and breakfast note or something.
And maybe they need to leave a note that tell your women on top of the RVs not to moon the visiting team's buses on the way out.
Yeah, they won't be doing. Nobody be mooning anybody.
Well, they do it in Buffalo, believe me. No matter what the temperature
Not
is,
this week.
but it is probably going to be nice and
Well, it'll be indoors. It'll be indoors.
mid 40s here, maybe a high of 50 today. As the Cowboys will not practice today, they have their little walkthrough. Mock game or whatever on Saturday and be ready to go on Sunday.
Boy, I tell you, they are talking trash out there, Spags.
So this
They don't think we have a chance, brother.
This is the SWBC podcast studio for Mick Shots, Everson Walls, Mickey Spagnola. Bill Jones joined us one day this week, and then he had to be called out of town for. At least he's healthy, though, right?
Oh yeah, nothing about.
And he's
his
going to
health.
join us on the phone as we get going here over this next 45 minutes on DallasCowboys.com. And I guess we should start with somewhat of an injury update for Friday. The good news is it looks like Ezekiel Elliott should be ready to go.
Ready to go.
He's been limited in practice these last 2 days, but he said he has returned from practice feeling no ill effects of the knee injury that he sustained, and he at least Thursday afternoon was planning on playing on Sunday. And I think Mike McCarthy thought that they'll probably list him as questionable, but he should be good to go. So that's good news. Anthony,
I thought he could have. I thought he could have played last week.
He felt like after the practice on Thursday, he didn't feel as good on Friday.
Oh.
And then he said that, thinking long term, let's not damage it anymore. And I think the next week of practice, he was taking snaps these last 2 days. Same thing for Anthony Barr with the strained hamstring. Limited the past 2 days, but he was able to get snaps in. So that's a good thing. I think the two concerns right now would be Anthony Brown. Today was supposed to be the day that he could get out of concussion protocol.
Okay.
And he said that he has felt no ill effects these last couple days or through the week. So he feels like he should be able to play, but he's got to pass the whatever test the independent doctor gives him. And that would be today. But he said that he's had one other concussion, and this one didn't seem as severe as the other one, and he didn't miss a game that time.
Okay.
So he felt good. Somebody said, so would you push it? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I got a family and kids. I'm not faking I'm not like trying to fake it and go play with a concussion, right? So he was pretty good and pretty honest.
That should be a good answer for a lot of questions that come from the media. Yeah, I got a family and kids, man. So come on.
Yeah.
Don't ask me these questions.
And then the somewhat worry, although DeMarcus Lawrence said that he felt like he would be able to play.
Okay.
He has not practiced the last 2 days, and he went on to say it's not only both feet, but his knee too is sore. And he said
that just comes from wear and tear throughout the entire season.
He said the knee might feel worse than the feet. And then somebody said, is it the foot that you injured last year? Remember, he had surgery for the fractured fifth metatarsal. And he goes, well, it's sore. I got 2 screws in there still. So, and then somebody said he fractured it. I'm going, if you fractured your fifth metatarsal again, you're not walking around the way he was walking around, right?
There's no way.
Yeah, you would be in a boot. I remember how painful it was.
When I think about D-Law, I think we really need him in this game. And as I think about all the running plays that we've given up, the big running plays,
right?
They all seem to go away from him.
It's the other way.
It's the other way.
Yes, absolutely. And he's probably on that defensive line their best run defender.
He is. He's very smart. He sees keys, and he plays those keys perfectly.
And he can chase the run down from the backside.
Right.
That's where I think he's most valuable, and he'll set an edge on that side. But if you look at where those toss sweeps
they're always going right.
They're going right to the Cowboys, left to the
Yep.
offense. And right now, Lawrence has 38 tackles. He is 5th, and he's 1 tackle from 4th. He's got 38. Jaron Kearse has 39. He also, by the way, has 5 sacks, too. So 5 tackles for losses, 19 quarterback pressures, too. That's second on the team to Micah Parsons' 28. He also has 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries.
That's solid.
So
that's more than solid.
Yes.
That's a pretty freaking amazing season.
So if they have to tape everything up on him, get him back on the field.
That's amazing, Spags. We have really talked about what has not been going on with this defense. D-Law is what's happening good for this defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
And so if everybody else can play as solid and efficient as he has, then they would certainly be.
Man, I'm glad we brought that up. I'm glad we brought that up.
It's like one of those unknown things.
Well,
right?
we expect that from him because he's, when it's quiet over there, that means that D-Law is doing his job.
Right. absolutely. So that part of it, if he can get out there, that's certainly encouraging for this defense to make somewhat of a comeback after.
Those are good numbers, Spags. Those are good numbers.
After what happened last week.
Impressive.
And it's not, and I understand 207 and 240, but I think as we've talked about before, if you look at, and I think I pointed this out yesterday, the games they've lost, Tampa Bay rushed for 152. The Eagles rushed for 136, and the Packers rushed for 207. Do you see a common thread there?
I do. I do.
So that's something that certainly needs to improve, and I guarantee you, I think Mike McCarthy said the Vikings will be running the ball as soon as they get off the bus.
Yes, they will.
I mean, they're going to test them, right? Even though they have a very prominent passing game, even though they have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and now Hawkinson, tight end. They got to play again, by the way, after he was traded. That's a pretty. They'll have a pretty formidable running game. They average 4.5 yards a carry. And Dalvin Cook averages 5. So
you take away that 80-yarder.
Right.
I'm sure
it's probably.
But you're still very respectable.
It counts, and he's got 6 rushing touchdowns too.
Yes,
right.
Very respectable.
So it's more. I think they're more of a complete offense. Maybe
yes, they are.
The quarterback has his moments, right?
Either way.
I mean, the Cowboys beat them last year 20-16, and didn't have Dak in that game. That was a Cooper Rush
and
first NFL start.
Our defense was playing
and then
very
playing
well.
better,
yes.
right? I mean, they held Justin Jefferson to 2 catches for 21 yards last year, and I think that was a lot of digs.
Yes, it was.
So
and that's going to be a lot of
digs. He
digs.
will have his hands full in this game too. Now, it helps if Anthony Brown gets back. Otherwise, you've got Kelvin Joseph with very little experience on the outside, and again, Deron Bland in the slot.
What I worry about with Brown is, first of all, he I've been there before. Sometimes, man, they just get the jump on you.
Right.
The wide receiver gets you. But there seems to be a pattern with the Cowboys. Whenever we have problems defensively, it's because of Brown giving up a deep pass. That always seems to be the thing that is more difficult to overcome.
Right.
The Tampa Bay game, we were trying to hang in there, get things going. He gives up the bomb to Julio Jones. That's the kind of thing that we need you to be solid on every level so that we as a team can overcome whatever our deficiencies are. And whenever we can't overcome something, the ingredient at times is Brown giving up a deep pass, but not making up for it throughout the game.
Right.
So you give it up all you want. I did it my rookie year, but you have to make up for that some kind of way throughout the ball. And
game. I want to say, even though he probably has the second most interceptions on the team, if I remember correctly, no, I take that back. I thought he had he doesn't have one. I thought maybe I'm thinking of last year. Probably.
Last year was a good year for him.
And Diggs has 3, Bland 1, Hooker 1. Well, you know what? Well, so if they see that, what about a safety helping out maybe?
Well, there was a safety, if I'm not mistaken, on that play, but I think he got looked off.
Right.
And it's just hard to get back
Especially
over there.
when you're single safety high.
Single safety high, you got to make a decision. And if you're going to get over there, you're still going to be late, but it won't be a touchdown.
Right, because if you're in the middle of the field, there's no way you're getting to the sideline.
I had to save Perry Williams on James Lofton in the Super Bowl, but I read that right away and still couldn't get there. I was able to knock him out of bounds, but in order to make a play on that as a single high safety, you have to almost anticipate where he's going right away.
See, and then that becomes also problematic from not being able to stop the run and maybe putting a safety down in the box to stop the run, and now you only got one
and
high.
That's exactly why it was like that.
Yeah, because if you could play 2 over the top, then you got some help with Jefferson and whoever is on the other side.
Tampa took advantage of it in that same way. We couldn't stop the jet sweep. We couldn't stop the run.
Right.
And we had to bring a safety down, and that's when they beat him with Julio Jones over the top.
It'll be interesting to see how they play the run when, and I don't know how much Minnesota goes 2 tight ends, but in some of the previous games when teams went 2 tight ends, they played 3 linebackers.
Yes.
Van Der Esch, Parsons, and Barr.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see with him. It looks like he's back. And I can't imagine he'll miss this game after having played there for 8 years.
You can't make a hamstring better.
Yeah, that's true too. Even though I want to play in this game. Come on, hamstring.
It cannot happen. But what we saw last year, we didn't have 3 linebackers last year.
No,
we did not. We had J-Ron.
Right.
And so, but that still gives me pause. Because whenever we were weak, against San Francisco, we were weak, even going back 2 years ago when it was horrible and we were like the worst run defense ever, that was because we didn't have another linebacker to put in. And we were playing a nickel against 2 tight end, 3 tight end offense.
And one of them was Jalen Smith.
Hey, man, he got an interception, I think.
No, this week?
Yes, I believe he got an interception. Yes, he did. He got some type of turnover, so I saw him celebrating in the end zone.
Wow, okay.
I thought about you.
Well, I didn't see any interceptions here, I'll tell you that. I didn't see many tackles that year either. All right, well, we're hoping that Bill will join us soon. We'll just take our first break now. We covered a lot of ground, right, on Victory Friday. And that victory's for us because we're here. And we'll still be here when we come back from this.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cape Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home.
Proud.
Have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860. That's capepostcompany.com. As we continue here on Mick Shots, Everson Walls, Mickey Spagnola. Bill Jones, maybe.
Maybe not.
We'll see. He had to go out of town, so we'll keep trying to pull him in. I saw interesting stat, and I kind of thought this by just kind of browsing or casually paying attention to the Viking scores.
Okay.
So 7 of their 8 victories, 1-score games. If you count 8 as 1 score, obviously you got to get the 2-point conversion. They've only won 1 game by more than 1 score, and that was the season opener against the Packers.
And I think Jefferson got off that game, if I'm not mistaken.
They beat the Packers 23-7 in the season opener, which, by the way, did you catch the Packers?
I caught them
last night. Remember I told you I saw the little headline underneath one of the TV shows about will the Packers make the playoffs?
No.
Just because they beat the Cowboys.
That's it. Everybody think they got momentum going. They just don't realize they didn't beat us. We lost that game.
Yeah.
That's how that happened.
And Tennessee didn't, stub their toe.
They did not.
They just, when it was time to score the touchdown to put the game away, they scored the touchdown, right?
And they didn't do it necessarily running the ball either.
No.
I mean, 28 carries for not even 100 yards for Henry.
Right.
But yet we've got our homeboy, Tannehill. Texas homeboy Tannehill. He goes for 330 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. So I didn't look it up.
So when you talk about that, I mean, that's why you can never predict a game and expect for that to hold up.
Right.
Things are going to happen during the ball game. If you go back over some of the Super Bowl wins and even the Super Bowl seasons, there were times when Troy Aikman couldn't hit he couldn't. No one could catch a pass. No one could throw a pass. There were moments when that happened, actually, from that Super Bowl team during that Super Bowl season. So I just get so tired of people making these predictions and so surprised when they don't come through. And then they blame the guy that they were rooting for to make their predictions come true. Now everyone's mad at Josh Allen. Now, all of a sudden, he's not the reigning MVP. Now he's the guy that's been blowing it. Oh, now who leads the league in interceptions now? Josh Allen.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden.
He was MVP.
MVP. Couldn't be beaten. The Buffalo Bills are going to go unscathed into the Super Bowl. And I said it on this show. Things are going to change so often this season, and it's going to start getting worse as we get closer to the holidays.
And it comes down to making plays when you got to make them, right?
When you got to make them.
Now, see, and this week it's been, Dak Prescott had to ask questions yesterday about does he feel like he's playing as well as he's played before? Okay, we established that those 2 interceptions were on the receiving
Nobody wants
core,
to hear that.
right?
Nobody wants
and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it either, right? He did throw for 265 yards in that game and 3 touchdowns, by the way. Now, they don't give the interceptions to the wide receivers. It's the quarterback. And that causes,
even if it's a tip pass.
And that causes his quarterback rating to go to 78.6, right? If he doesn't have those interceptions, that quarterback rating would have been over 100, right? And so, what do you need to do to play better? And it's like, I don't know. When he's cleaning the pocket, he looks pretty good to me.
It all comes down to once you got that contract, then that's what you're going to be judged on.
Right.
Once you get that contract.
Because if you haven't won a Super Bowl.
That's right. And so, once again, do you get paid on what we want you to do, or do you get paid on what you did do?
Right.
You see, and for a long time, Dak Prescott was the most underpaid player in the NFL.
Right.
Period.
So now he's making up.
And now
for
he's
it.
making too much money for the guys, that for the pundits out there. And I can even spread this around to CeeDee Lamb as well. We still talk, I know I do, and rightfully so, for the things that he does not do. But I got to give him love for regardless. Once again, I still want to make those plays that need to be made in the clutch. But you got 11 passes for 158.
150.
I'm tipping my
2
hat
touchdowns.
to you. I'm tipping my hat to those 2 touchdowns.
So that's why it was like, well, the offense let them down. They scored 28 points. And those 2 performances we just talked about. Tony Pollard runs for 115.
Come on, man.
Right?
Yeah.
They ran for 159.
And that's what I don't want them to lose sight of.
Right.
We are here to tell you what you didn't do, or to tell the fans. They're not listening to us.
Right.
But we're here to tell the fans what they did not do, and sometimes we bemoan as fans as well. But when it comes down to it, they can't forget what they have done well in that locker room. And I'm pretty sure McCarthy keeps their eye on the prize when it comes to that.
Yeah, and the defensive guys have, they've stepped up to the music this week.
Yes.
It was on us.
Yes.
They scored 28 points. Anthony Brown told me an interesting thing because everybody's like, 6-3. He goes, and they were talking about somebody asked him about Minnesota and, how tough they are. And he goes, well, we got some dudes too.
Yeah.
And he was almost like offended that everybody was praising Minnesota because the Cowboys lost a game.
Minnesota just gave up about 30 points.
Yeah.
The defense just gave up 30-plus points. Come on.
So he pointed out to me because I said, so where would you assess where this team is right now? And he goes, last year at this – he goes, we're 6-3, right? Yeah. He goes, last year at this time we were 7-2.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, there's some good perspective.
No one expected
there.
us to be 6-3 at this point anyway. They did not see us.
Remember all the games they were going to lose early in the season?
Yes.
They couldn't beat Cincinnati.
And especially even after we lost to Tampa. It was even worse.
They couldn't beat the Rams.
No.
And it's going to be a bad start and Mike McCarthy's going to get fired, right? So they lost the game they shouldn't have lost. I get it. But it's not like the season's over. Now, this is a tough stretch, right?
Tough stretch.
You got to go on the road again.
Tough stretch.
And go to Minnesota, where they've won the last couple times they've been there, despite that godforsaken horn blowing after every first down. Golly.
Then you've got the Giants.
And then the Giants, right, who are playing good ball. And they're kind of playing the same way Minnesota is. They have this ability to come from behind and score late in the – check this stat out. Because I had this feeling that Minnesota has pulled out games in the fourth quarter.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
They have outscored opponents in the fourth quarter 83-40. How does that happen?
And they have this sense of urgency in the fourth quarter that is spastic. I mean, they are just going a mile a minute, and they are not looking behind them. They're not putting their blinker on. They're not checking their blind spots. They are going 100 miles an hour when they have to. And you have to admire that about them. That sense of urgency with that team in the fourth quarter, it's impressive.
And I mean, that's the most, obviously, that's the most points they've scored in any quarter this season. Mm-hmm. But it also speaks to coming back and winning games because they're winning all these close games, that's like we pointed out already.
Have to.
But 83 points in the fourth quarter in 8 games. So, yeah,
so they
actually
were pretty,
9 games.
They were pretty far behind in a couple of those games.
Yeah.
To where they had to, once again, make that frenzy comeback. And so, okay, what's the narrative? Is it the fact that they are a great comeback team? Or are they just one of the slowest starting teams in the NFL? So there are times when that moment, it may fail you this time. You're accustomed to this position, but it's not going to work for you every time.
At some point, it catches up with you, right?
Same with the Cowboys. We talk about the same thing. We're playing these sorry teams. We're going to play against a good team. You're going to have to answer to that.
Right.
Minnesota's going to have to answer to their inability to score early on and often, and their ability to having to pull out a game in the end in that dramatic fashion. So we have to make sure and catch them in between that. You understand? We make sure that whatever they do when they come back, that can't happen with us. We've seen it happen to us, and we want to make it happen for us this time.
So they've won. They beat Detroit by 4 points.
Come on.
They beat New Orleans by 3 points. Mm-hmm. They beat Washington by 3 points, and then 3 points over Buffalo in overtime.
3 of those 4 teams are losing teams.
Yeah.
They have losing seasons, losing records, if I'm not mistaken.
And then their lone loss, going 8-1, was at Philadelphia 24-7. So that's really the 2 first games were the only ones that got kind of there was separation, right? They beat Green Bay 23-7. They lost to Philadelphia 24-7. Everything else has been a close shave. So that tells you that the Cowboys, number one, and we understand it, need to slow down that running game. Number 2, don't let Justin Jefferson take over the game. And number 3, get consistently scoring 25 to 30 points a game.
That's right.
They've done it twice in a row.
Be ready.
The offense put 40
for the crowd control,
and
noise.
That too.
That noise is going to be crazy.
Because for some reason, I think they've put whatever they put in their ceilings of their dome stadiums, right? It creates a lot of noise.
Yeah, they got that from the Superdome.
Right?
Yeah, that's when I tell you, I played there when I was in college all 4 years. That noise gets so loud, and it bounces off of whatever the hell they have going on in there. They don't sound human. It sounds like a train. It does not sound like human voices. It sounds like a train. That's how loud it gets down on the field.
Yeah, and remember how loud the previous the Metrodome was, right?
That was that.
Because I think it was a low.
Well, it wasn't just low. It was small. It was raggedy. For lack of
it was raggedy that one year when the snow caved in the roof, right? And now this one's, I forgot what the word is. You can see through the roof, translucent. I think.
Yeah,
is that the word?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of a neat stadium too, but I can't believe they brought that goofy horn.
So this is their third stadium. The Cowboys have had Cotton Bowl, Texas Stadium, and this stadium. Yeah.
Right, and they had the what was it? Was it
they had the outdoor
municipal?
No, it was Met.
The Met.
Yeah, it was the Met, and then they had the indoor.
Right, the Metrodome. Yeah, and now this one. Yeah. Where the sidelines were, both teams were on the same sideline in Bloomington, right?
Yeah, and you couldn't if you were a Minnesota Viking, you couldn't wear long sleeves was it long sleeves and gloves, or just gloves? But I know you could not wear gloves.
Yeah, Bud Grant didn't want you.
Bud Grant didn't play that. You talk about somebody that was, from a player standpoint, as far as discipline, was worse than Tom Landry. I think Bud Grant was I think they were competing with each other.
So back in those days, you played some games with the benches on the same sideline?
I did not.
You did not?
No, I did not.
Because I'm wondering, how did they ever substitute? You couldn't substitute like you do now, right?
I'm pretty sure we didn't have to do that because by that time we were in the Metrodome. We were in the Dome. We were covered.
Right.
Yeah, so when we were covered, we didn't have to do that.
But back in the 60s and 70s, if say you were on, your bench was on the other side of the 50 and they're down at the 10, how do you get your goal line defense? Yeah, right. And who's coming in? The biggest guys on the team, right?
You got to call timeout just so they can make it out there.
Yeah.
You can't just substitute.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right, well, we have to get on to picking this game.
That's right.
And picks to click, and we'll do that next on Mick Shots.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Mick Shots.
Well, we're going to go with Sounds of the Star. Live music fans, head to the Star in Frisco on Tuesday, November 29th for a brand new monthly concert series, Sounds of the Star, featuring the inimitable country rock band Western Rewind. You've heard of them, I'm sure.
I don't know what the hell you just said, actually.
The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. and is free and open to the public. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com.
Every time Bill's on, you start screwing up, man. You weren't screwing up until Bill
Inimitable. You don't like that word?
It was a weird word, and you didn't say it right.
I didn't say it right?
No, your tongue got in the way.
Well, there was too many I's in it. Inimitable. Why didn't they just say classic or something? Mm-hmm. Western Rewind. They didn't write that for us. They got to say it.
You're going to be so excited about my pick.
All right. Well, it is time for us to pick this game and picks to click. And guess who showed up just in time for this? Mm-hmm. Bill Jones joins us.
William.
And there is an I in picks to click. 2 I's.
There's 2 I's.
That's right.
Are you
Sorry I wasn't able to join you earlier. It's not your day when you venture out on a 4-hour trek to South Texas and you realize that your phone won't take a charge and you got 20% left on it. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do picks to click, and then I'll have about 10% left on my phone for the rest of the journey.
Why? Your car doesn't charge your phone?
The problem is with my phone, I think.
Oh.
Not taking a charge.
You need
you only find that stuff out when it's a bad time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, see, if you had an Android, you wouldn't have that problem.
Oh, heck no.
There is an I in iPhone.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, who wants to start?
I'll start.
Everson's going to go first.
I'm going to go away. I'm going to go so specific here. This is going to be an amazing pick to click because it's going to work. I'm looking at J-Ron Curse. We're going to need him.
This is going to be an amazing pick to click because he's finally going to get one right.
That's right. I'm finally going to get one close. By the way, all of us sucked last week, Bill, including yourself. All right. No. So here we go. Running game's going to be prominent for the Vikings. Like McCarthy said, they're going to come off the bus running the ball. I'm looking at J-Ron Curse is going to have to get in and make some tackles and make a difference in this game. I'm looking at him having 6 tackles. All right, even 1 interception because I'm sure Kirk Cousins is gonna he's gonna have a hiccup every game, and I'm looking at that hiccup is gonna be that 1 interception to J-Ron Curse. So he's gonna have 1 pick, 6 tackles, and the score is going to be a pretty high scoring affair. We're going to have to show that we can keep up offensively. And I'm looking at the score being 35-31.
Oh, my.
Cowboys winning this ball game.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, it was fireworks, baby.
Indoor, and even though the high on Saturday in Minneapolis is going to be 19 degrees.
They don't have to worry about that.
They don't have to worry about it on Sunday. Bill, we'll let you go, so in case you have to, turn your phone off, we'll get you out of here.
And then what do I do if I need to make a call to something? Do they have payphones anymore anywhere?
As a matter of fact,
you got to go to the city.
They do have.
If they do have a payphone anywhere,
do
I have any numbers memorized in my mind? I have no idea what anyone's
Not like it used to be, Bill.
Or do you have a quarter?
I'd be totally out of luck.
In Moab, Utah, last summer, there was a payphone right down the street from where we were staying. Moab, Utah. There was a payphone.
I'm not in Moab, Utah.
And I took a picture just to prove it, right?
All right, here's my pick to click.
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay. This is the anniversary year of one of the greatest plays in Dallas Cowboys history. Right? It was 40 years ago when Tony Dorsett went 99 yards and a half for a touchdown. Where? In Minnesota.
10 men on the field.
Tony Pollard is my pick to click. He's going 99 yards and a half for a touchdown as the Cowboys win 24-20.
24-20. Gotcha.
You like that, Mickey?
That's very good, Bill. 24-20.
Everson, where were you when Tony D went 99 and a half?
I was on the sidelines with my mouth wide open, going, what the hell just happened? They only got 10 men on the field, and this guy scores a freaking 99.5-yard touchdown. And who was that little skinny, knock-kneed guy out there in the middle of the field blocking for him? Nobody but number 88, Drew Pearson, who was always there, leading the way for any running back that was trying to score. I always got to give Drew some love.
There you go.
And Bill, where were you? 40 years ago?
I was actually it was January 3rd, 1983. I was in a little pub in Dallas watching it on television.
He was getting drunk.
Trying to remember.
He said a little pub. That means he was getting drunk. Hey, Bill, did you give me a score?
Yeah, 24-20 Cowboys.
24-20 Cowboys.
Was that the score of that game, by the way?
I didn't have time to look that up.
No,
I'm driving down the road.
I don't think it was.
I can't be looking at that kind of stuff up while I'm driving.
By the way, Bill, I got to pick that game.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Nobody remembers because of 99 years. I got the best interception I ever had. I turned a flip and got a pick at the same time.
What do you mean?
That means that the receiver fell. I had to jump over him to get the ball, and as I caught it, I had to flip over and catch it, and then I came up on my feet. So, yeah. That was a hell of a forward. Forwards.
I think I was making the bathroom.
Boy, if I was
Everson, I think I was making a bathroom run.
I think you were, man. You came back, and everybody's like, hey, man, Walls just made a pick. And you were like, what else is new? You know?
What do you got, Mickey?
I'm stubborn, right? I keep picking the same guys. At some point,
Micah Parsons?
They're going to come through. No, not Micah Parsons. This is going to be an offensive explosion, and I don't think we ever do this, right? We pick wide receivers, we pick running backs, we pick tight ends. I am going to go with one Dakota Prescott.
Uh-oh.
I think that he will have a big game indoors, nice, warm, cozy, no snow, no rain, no wind. He is going to put 30-some points on this. Well, maybe not 30, but he's gonna play awfully well. And my pick is Cowboys 27, the Vikings 24.
All right, 27-24. Last week it was 27-17.
Yes.
Now you got 27. You got to give me some numbers on Dak, man. You can't just say Dak. So it's got to be like, give me some touchdowns or yardage or something.
He's going to throw for 303 touchdowns. How's that?
300.
300 yards and how many picks?
None.
Because he had 3 touchdowns last week.
I know. That's why he's hot. He's got the hot hand now, as long as the wide receivers don't have any interceptions.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
3 TDs. I got
Just
it. Just
run your route. Don't be on the wrong angle on your routes.
I think
he would have had over 100 quarterback rating if not for those two mess-ups. But he continues to be the man answering questions, right?
Of course.
He will not blame anybody. He just talks about coordination and communication.
Falling on that sword, boy.
Yep.
That's right. That's what a franchise quarterback does.
That's what he does. That's just the way it is, Bill.
So there. Are we good?
Uh-oh, I may be losing you there.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
No, I got you.
That's all right. We got all we need from you, Bill. We're about to sign off on this.
We're going to sign off.
You want to sign us off?
Well, yeah, I will. With the comment I made yesterday, who in the world schedules a wedding in the middle of football season?
Hey, wait. Hey, come on, Chris. We got to get the Mick rant, man. Do we have the Mick rant for Bill? I know you don't have it ready.
Yeah. shot.
We haven't had one this week.
You don't schedule a wedding for the middle of football season.
On Sunday.
What state are you living in? What country are you living in? When you schedule a wedding during the middle of football season and you schedule a rehearsal dinner at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, which scares me. What are we going to do the rest of the night? The dinner's at 5 o'clock. And do I have to come up with a speech for my nephew?
Yes, you do.
Absolutely. And we want it recorded.
Yeah, my nephew, who took a month to respond to the last text message I sent to him, I got to say something nice about him back.
Hey, wait, we're going to tape this and send it to you, and then this can be part of your speech.
Yeah, that'll be my speech. There you go.
I haven't heard from you for 4 months for one text.
Yeah, that's right. Now you want me to say something nice about you tonight?
That's good stuff.
Well,
man.
let's finish this on a high note then, and not a complaint. But last night in the Cowboys Club upstairs, they had a nice retirement tribute to Emery Tyler, the Cowboys bus driver, who has finally, after I think 10 years of threatening to retire, he has finally retired, and they finally found a spot where they could honor him. Jerry came down for it, Stephen, and it was my honor to be there.
Nice.
As I told him and hugged him, if it wasn't for you, buddy, I wouldn't be here tonight because you saved our lives with your ability to drive a bus. So just a shout-out to Emery Tyler. Bullet.
Bullet. That's
Bullet.
His name?
That was his nickname.
He get you that fast?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
All right. That's
All right,
it
love
for
it.
Mick Shots. And we will be back Monday and
Victory
see
Monday.
how accurate we were.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this